Hello everyone, Medford Collectibles back here. We got a big CSG return, 60 some cards. I have seen the grades. I can't ever resist. I try to, but I can't. So I've gone through, I've looked at the grades. For the most part, we did pretty well with what we thought. There was a preview video to this back a couple weeks ago. If you look back, I'll try to link that in the description as well. But we did some assumptions. And yeah, the cards just came back. So just to give you an idea here, bunch of vintage cards. So you see some weedy stuff, a bunch of stuff from the 70s there. And I did mark some of the grades here as far as what we got and whether we did better or worse. So I went through and checked all these, and in the video here I'll show you kind of what I guessed. You can see there's a couple that came back ungradable, which I'm interested to see why those came back, but for the most part okay. So let's jump into this. It'll be a little bit longer video. So as always, give us a follow, give us a like, all the major platforms, including Whatnot, which is not on here, all under Medford Collectibles. So give us a shout if you like any of these cards. Most of them will be for sale. Some of them will go into my Hall of Fame collection, but most of them will be for sale. Just reach out. And we'll see if we can do something. I've not seen these cards yet. The boxes are still sealed. So let's see what we got. We'll start with the small box first. Get the big box out of here. And try to run through this. We got some paperwork. It does look like the cards they did not grade. This is information for all of you. Looks like two of the cards that they didn't grade, they didn't charge me for. And there was one card that looked like it was listed as questionable authenticity. They did charge me for that. So two must have been ineligible types or something, and then the one with the authenticity concern, they did charge me because they deemed it wasn't authentic. So they reviewed it and deemed it wasn't good. So let's just jump in here. I see we got some of the questionable cards in here, it looks like. Let me see. The package is really nice, but there's sometimes a pain to get out. Also a couple cards in here a card in here for a buddy from work. I already showed him what he got. He was excited to see his card, so he had a pretty good card come back in this order. A card you could send the PSA and get a little more value for, but he just wanted to keep it, so I didn't see a reason to charge him. It was back when I sent these for 50 bucks to the PSA. It didn't make sense to pay the extra 40 bucks. He's just going to keep it in his collection. He's never going to sell it. It's the only baseball card. So let's jump in here. What do we got? We got Charles Herzog. Says Whitey Herzog. Got a PSA 1. It's about what I expected on this. I think I had an A or a 1 on this one. So overall pretty good. Looks good in the slab. Slabs are clean. So, and I'll put the you guys will see the expectation and the actual up in the chat up here, be up here somewhere, up in this area. Next, we got Admiral Schley, T205 gold border, authentic. The card presents well, but the back, a lot of these have the backs are a little messed up. I sent these in just because at 12 bucks, so I was gonna get them authentic. So this one is the questionable authenticity. So I bought this in a lot off of eBay. Every other card in the lot was authentic. This one came back as questionable. So it's one of the Cracker Jack cards. Tom Seaton. Yeah, I don't know. Must be a reprint. We'll have to see. To reach out to the seller that I bought this from to let them know I bought this a little while ago, but because it's fake, they may still do something for me. It was probably a couple, I don't know, 3 months ago I bought this in a huge lot. This being one of the, obviously, more valuable cards that came. So that's kind of unfortunate, but that happens. That's why I send these in to get them authenticated. Okay, I want to make sure. Next here, we got a PSA 1, or CSG 1, V Lindemann. So we got a bunch of T206 cards you're going to see here. You got a Billy Young Stribling, 1928 W513 Authentic. These are hand cut, so CSG doesn't typically give these a grade. If they're the right size, PSA and SGC will grade them, but this is a lower value card, so it's not really worth spending more money to do it. I just want to get authenticated. Same way here, another authentic Jack Sharkey, 1928 W513. Cards look good. These cards are in pretty good shape. These strip cards. Kid Kaplan, same way here. So a couple boxing cards here. And Jack Delaney, authentic. That's all I was hoping for on these, was authentic. So these came back as I expected. And the V Lindemann. Should I find it quick? I don't take too much time looking. Got a lot of cards in here. V Lindemann, I expected authentic, and I got the 1, so I did better there. The Herzog, I expected authentic, got a 1. And the Schley, authentic, we got authentic. So far, besides the one that's questionable authenticity, did pretty well. This one has evidence of alteration, restoration, surface color, it looks like it says on here. I do like the CSG sends us back. I'm sorry, surface erased. Goose Gosselin. So this one, oh, I see it here. Right there. They tried to remove a mark. There's a pen mark on there they tried to remove. Not sure where I got this card. I wouldn't be surprised if the person that sold this, I probably picked this up on eBay. I wouldn't be overly surprised if the person that sold this on eBay to me tried this before and got the same thing back from another company. So I was only expecting a 1 here, but they're not saying they're saying it's authentic, but has alteration. So I don't know. I may be able to get this in a holder if I want to with another company, just authentic. But I can see it there now. Whether I wasn't paying attention or I was hoping they would still just slap it authentic. Either way, so Goose Gosselin came back that way. So at least it's real. That's the way it goes sometimes. All right, what do we got here? Beat up Mickey Mantle. Like I said in prior videos, for a beat up card like this, I mean, I'll spend the $12 rather than the 30 or 50 or whatever it is with the other companies just to get it authenticated. Knew it was going to come back a 1, but wanted to get it holdered up and authenticated so you can see it's all creased up. So we got a 1 there under Mickey Mantle. Next here, William Hogan. Looks good in the back. It's a 1.5. Got some paper loss there in the front. This is 1912 T207 brown background. I get a bunch of these in here. So the Willie Hogan, we expected to get a 2, came back on 1.5. I think the paper loss probably hurt it more than I expected. So a little worse there by a grade, by a half grade. Here was a good surprise. This one is probably potential to get converted over to PSA, but with what I paid for the card raw, I didn't want to mess with it. So you got a Joe Burrow Concourse Prism here. It's a blue Prism, and this one did come back a Gem Mint 10. So the die cuts are always tough to get 10s on. I was expecting a 9, which is why I sent it in here. And it came back Gem. I mean, the centering is good. It looks like a good card. It's just, again, with these die cuts, you never expect to get a 10. So I bought this one raw off eBay. Graded it, so it looks really good. Was pleased with that. So I don't know what I'll do there. I may just try to sell it as is. With football season coming up, it's kind of a good timing. I actually may try to put this on Whatnot and see if anyone wants to take it at a decent price. But happy to see that one come back as a 10. Next year, you got a Ray Allen Topps Chrome. This one came, I bought this in another holder. It was in like a generic, I don't know, Wizard card trading, card grading holder or something. It was, I think it was an 8 in their holder. It's 2007, 2008, numbered to 999. I assumed it was going to be an 8, and that's exactly what it came back as, an 8. So it wasn't, you know, little centering issues, wasn't perfect on the surface, but wanted to get this in a better holder. It's a, you know, short print Ray Allen 2007. These are pretty desirable cards, so cool looking card there. This is one of the bigger cards in the order. Derek Jeter Upper Deck SP. I had this as a 6. Just based on what I saw with PSA, they're very hard on this card because it's been sent in so many times. And I just feel like they've gotten very, very strict on this card. It's got whitening on the corners pretty much all the way around. This is my buddy's card. This is the one he sent in that I said I could probably send to PSA and get a little more value, but he doesn't intend to sell it. So sent it in, and it came back as a nice surprise with an 8. Now, it did have some like smudges on the surface, and I cleaned that all up before I sent it in. I didn't like clean the card. I just wiped it down to make sure it was free of any spots. It had some light surface scratches, but in the holder it looks pretty good. It looks better than I thought it did raw in my hand. You see, just the corners are touched, and they gave it an 8. So that was a great surprise there for him. He was pleased to see that came back an 8 instead of a 6 like we thought, or a 7. Next here, Eddie Matthews. Got a 2, 1953 Topps. This one I expected a 2, so we nailed that one. Expected a 2, got a 2. Just old beat up 1953 Topps cards, Hall of Famers. Just again, put them in a holder so we know they're authentic. Got a Campanelli here. Expected an A on this one. Got a 1. This one's pretty beat up, but we got a number grade. Had some paper loss there. So did a little better there. Just at least got a number grade. Card presents pretty decent for the coloring's good on it. Then you got a Warren Spahn here. I expected a 3 on this one, and it came back 2.5. So just slightly missed there. I think just a little bit too beat up to get a 3. No creasing on this one, but pretty well centered. Just the corners are pretty rough. So good card there. And then we got Phil Rizzuto. Same set. Expected a 3 here. See, it's almost miscut on the back, which I think is what, when you see the grade, you'll see why they gave it miscut there. Give me 1.5. I think it's just too creased up. Multiple creases here. I think I was just hoping for a 3 because it looked, it's you know, the coloring's good, looks pretty good in the holder, but too many touch points on here. So I gave it a 1.5. I missed on that one. I guess I was a little more a little too optimistic on that card. It's okay though. All right, so that's the first box. We still have quite a few to go here. So far we've done about what we thought for the most part. I think the Burrow was a nice surprise. The Jeter was a nice surprise. A couple of the others were just off by a little bit one way or the other. Nothing too surprising, I would say. The Cracker Jack being not authentic was a unwelcome surprise. Obviously, those are very rare cards, but with very rare cards, you get fakes, unfortunately. So, again, that's why I send these in when I'm not sure. I only have 2 other Cracker Jacks in my collection. They're both in holders, so I just don't mess with those cards very often. Let's see what else we got here. We got 2 more cards that came back in bubble wrap, which is never good. We will see why. Like I said, I'm glad CSG gives you a little description of what happened. So happy to see that. Let's see here. I'm trying to put these up here without dropping all of them. Got a lot of slabs here. We'll try to move quickly through these. Not delay the video too much. All right, last couple here. Here we go. Okay, let's start off with the two that did not get graded. Show you guys kind of what they said here and see what happened. Again, I saw these, so I know what they said, but I didn't get the. Oh, this is unfortunate. This one came back, does not fit current holders. Which, I was wondering, I saw SU on this, I was wondering what that meant. I thought it meant, like, I thought maybe it was suspected of trimming SU, but I see, you can see here what the codes mean, does not fit current holders, which is weird because I've sent in, like they graded 53 tops, which is the same size, or even it's bigger. So I don't know. But the Walt Alston, I had this coming back as a 5, I think. This is for my Hall of Fame collection. I wanted this, oh no, I had it as a 4. I'm just gonna get this in a holder to keep my Hall of Fame collection, but I guess I have to figure out a different way to do that. So that's kind of unfortunate. But that's the way it goes again. It's just, it happens. And then lastly here, this was I realized this afterward. This is my own stupidity, actually. They have these bond breads listed as ungradable. So this is a Primo Carnera bond bread, 1947. And what they say is if it has square corners, they won't grade it. They will only grade the rounded corners. So after the fact, on their site, they do call that out. That was my fault for sending this in. So I knew this wasn't going to get graded. I just sent it. I was just trying to get it authenticated. These are hand cut as well. But it comes back in eligible type. Again, I love the fact that CSG gives you this detail when they send something back. I think that's fantastic. So the Carnera, I don't know what I'll do with that. I'll probably just send it back raw. So they're not saying it's inauthentic. They're just saying they won't grade it. I think it's because it's probably fake so much. So there we go. Let's jump into the others. We got a bunch. Let's start here. Early win. 1960 tops. CSG 6.5. So good grade on this card. I sent these in because I thought they were going to be higher grades. The early win, I expected I actually had this as a 4. I think because of the centering. Coloring looks great though. Corners are pretty good, so it came back at 6.5. So good win there. Expected 4, got a 6.5. Can't beat that. Next here, got a Hoyt Wilhelm. This is I think this is 59 tops. What's this? Yeah, 59 tops. This one I expected to get a 6. Came back a 7. So again, Hall of Fame pitcher. Pretty high grade there for this card. So I'm pleased with that. We got a Gil Hodges. I expected a 6 or a 7 on this one. And it came back on the high end, 7. 60 tops. So the card looks great. Good centering. Tough to find these cards. I mean, for me, anytime 50s or 60s, if I get a grade of 5 or higher, usually pretty pleased with that because they're tough grades. Burt Blyleven, this one was kind of a disappointment. 1972 tops, this is second year. I had this as a higher grade. I had this as a 7, which is why I sent it in. Came back as a 4. And I looked this one over. I'm not really sure why it came back as a 4. Because the card looks extremely clean. when I say I looked it over, I hadn't opened these yet, but on CSG's site you can get the images. So these ones that were off, I did look at, and I don't see why this. Well, maybe there's a little scratch on the surface there. See that little scratch up here? Maybe that hurt it, but the card was sharp otherwise. So oh well, that's a big miss. I had a 7 there, I got a 4. Kind of unfortunate. Next here we got Billy Williams. I had a 6 on this one. This is 72 tops. Again, not a huge valuable card, but it looked very sharp. So I set it in, had a 6, came back an 8. So pleased to get that. That was 2 grades better than I expected. I mean, this card is very sharp, looks good. So 8 there. Tony Gwynn rookie. I had a 6 or a 7 on this one. Again, it's cheap to get these in a holder, so I just sent it in. 6 or a 7, and this card is not huge, not a huge card by any means. It does have some marks in the back here. And it came back a 6, kind of on the lower end of what I thought. So good there on the rookie, Tony Gwynn rookie. We got a Wade Boggs. I had a 7 or 8. This rookie card, 1983 tops. Came back an 8, higher end of what I expected there. So cool card there. That'll go into my Hall of Fame collection. A lot of these are the early Hall of Famers. Probably will fill a spot in my Hall of Fame collection so I get better ones. Richie Ashburn, I had a 6 on this one. This is 1960 tops again. I bought these all from the same guy on eBay. Raw, they looked very clean, so I went ahead and bought a bunch of them. And they came back. So here's another weird thing, right? You see all these 1960 tops, Richie Ashburn. Well, the card they wouldn't grade was a 1960 tops. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is 56. I lied. That makes more sense. I still know the 53 tops is the same size. So this is 56. I thought this was 60 for some reason. So ignore that. Richie Ashburn, CSG 7. We got Aussie Smith rookie. This one's beat up. I think I had a 5 on this one. It is nearly miscut on the back, which CSG, SGC, they're way tougher on the back than PSA is. I knew that. This one came back lower than expected, 3.5. Just way off. And this card in a high grade is worth a ton because it has so many centering issues from the factory. It's got like a little dimple on here, so 3.5, lower than I expected. It's Aussie Smith rookie though, so it's okay. George Brett, this is the low grade George Brett. I expected a 3 here. This one's kind of beat up. 1975 tops, came back a 3. It's got some creases. I mean, it presents well. From here, it looks great. But when you look up close, got a crease there. Little print lines. So, expected a 3, got a 3 because it has a crease. Willie Stargell. This I expected a 6 on this, 1971 tops. Came back a 7. So we did a little better on that one. This is a tough card to grade. These Black Porter 1971s. Tough to get in a higher grade, so pleased to get a 7 on that one. Put a second stack here. This is a Whitey Ford. I think this is 1958 tops. I expected a 5 on this Whitey Ford, and it came back a 5.5. So pleased with that one. Did a little better. Rich Gossage. This is this one, I think if you watch my video on this, I said there was some surface stuff on this. I didn't know how they would treat it. I thought it could be a 7 or it could be even authentic. I thought it could be, if there's surface problems, they could knock it down. They ended up giving it a 5, and the surface, it's got like a raised, like a bumpy surface on it, which is weird. I don't know why, but they still graded a 5, less than I expected. And if you look at the card, it's very sharp. It's that surface problem that knocked it down. I'm sure of it, because there's nothing else wrong with the card that would cause it to get a 5. So, a couple grades lower, but at least it came back as, not evidence of tampering or something, or something. They come back with that chemical thing on it where it was exposed to elements. Robin Roberts. This is 1950 Bowman. I expected a 3 here. Hall of Fame pitcher for the Phillies. So came back a 4.5. So it did better on this one. This is a great centered card. Just the corners are touched up. So happy to get a 4.5 on that one. It's better than I expected as a 3. Leo DeRocher. Hall of Fame manager. 1950 Bowman. Expected a 4.5 on this. And it came back at 6.5. This is a sharp card for this age. So pleased with that one as well. Did better there. These are strip cards. I don't know which one this is. I think these are probably more boxing strip cards is what I'm going to guess. Yep. Georges Carpentier. He's a boxing Hall of Famer. Just looking for authentic on these. Hand cut. This is 1920 W519. There's a couple of these. Billy Misk. Same way here. Authentic. And last one. Harry Greb. Authentic. Cards look good. So again, wanted to get them in a holder. We got a Roy Campanella, 1950 Bowman. Expected a 3 on this one. Came back a 4. So you can see why I expected a 3. Some surface wear, corners, but came back a 4 there. So we did a grade better. These next bunch, these are all authentic hand-cut Wheaties. So just looking for an A on these. These are all Hall of Famers. Ted Williams, authentic there. Cool cards. We got the Rizzuto portrait, authentic. We have the Yogi Berra action, authentic there. Yogi Berra portrait, authentic. Sam Usual, action. And then last one here is a Sam Usual portrait. So again, just want to get those holder, protected, authenticated. These are all 1952 Wheaties multi-sport cards. Those are all the baseball ones, obviously. All right, let's get into, we got a bunch of these recruit backs. A whole bunch of them. All these came in a lot. You're going to see a whole bunch of old, I think these are all the brown backgrounds. Yeah, they should all be brown backgrounds, I believe. So most of these I was expecting authentic, but I also had some ones and a 2 in here. Overall, did about what I expected. Didn't get any 2s though, so I know it was worse on at least one. So this is first Tex Covington, 1912 T207 brown background. I expected a 1 on this one. Got a 1.5. These are cool cards. Paskert 1.5. I expected a 1 here. Got a 1.5. Next is Danforth. I expected a 1 here. And got a 1. Again, the main goal, authenticate these. I expected a 2 on the Henderson, but it does have the mark on the back. This card was probably the cleanest of the bunch that I sent in. They gave that one a 1.5. So I got a half grade lower than I expected there. Without the ink, probably could have come back a 3, I guess. They knock it down quite a bit for ink. It's got the old stamp on it. Napoleon Rucker. You can see what I assumed on this one. I assumed an A. Back's missing some paper, and it came back authentic. It's pretty beat up. Same way here. Like, who is that? Hugh Bradley. I expected an A there. Came back an A. These were probably glued into a book, ripped out of the book. Oscar Stanage. Expected a 1 on this one. It's got some writing on the back as well. Came back a 1.5. Pretty big crease there across the front. So 1.5 there. Briscoe Lord. Expected an A on this one. It's got some, you can see the coloration, which is why I thought it would get an A, but it came back at 1.5. Another crease right across the middle. They're rare cards, you know, kind of difficult to find. Larry McLean, expected a 1.5 on this one, and I got a 1.5. So I was right on one of them. When it comes to paper loss and pens and marks, it's kind of tough to determine what they're going to have. Henry Severoid. This was I expected an A on this one. And it came back an A. So, a bunch of those cards there. Not super valuable. There's a lot of the commons. There are some short prints in there. Most of those are between, I don't know. I'll probably try to get between 70 and 100 bucks for a lot of those, just because they're authenticated and they're in a holder. Raw, you can get those for 40 or 50 bucks typically. So we'll see what happens there. All right, couple more here. George Graham. This is a T205 gold border. Expected an A on this one. Paper loss. Came back a 1. 1911 225 gold border. There's another hand cut. This one is a Rabbit Marinville. This is a Hall of Famer. W515-2 1923. Hall of Famer there. You see somebody took a bite out of it. But hand cut. This is going on my Hall of Fame collection to cover Rabbit Marinville. So that's authentic. That's all I was looking for there. It's got a star on the back. What's this one? This is Kiki Kyler, Ace of Clubs. 1927 W560 playing card, hand cut. All I was looking for there was authentic because it's hand cut. So that one came back what I expected. That again will fill a void in my Hall of Fame collection for Kiki Kyler. Ichiro Suzuki rookie card. This is just a regular Topps base, 2001 Topps. I expected a 9 on this card, and it came back a 9. So bought this one raw on a lot on eBay. So got what I expected there. Next 3 here are more boxing cards. I've been buying a lot of random boxing cards. I just think they're cool, the old ones. So these are all 1910 T220 champions. So Tug Wilson here, I thought a 1.5. This one came back at 2, creased up there, but presents well. 2 on the Tug. Billy Edwards expected either an authentic or a 2, and that one came back at 2. I wasn't sure about this being trimmed, which is why I put authentic on there, but because the corners are pretty substantially rounded, but they give that one a 2. Frank Claus 1.5, and came back a 1.5, creased up, pretty bad. Still a cool card though, good coloring on these cards. Next is Ben Cantwell. I expected a 2 on this, 1933 Gowdy, just a common here. It does have the writing on the back, so I said a 2, came back a 1.5. Without the writing, again, probably 2.5, or maybe even 3. And it's got a little scratch there in the face, Scarface. All right, another strip card here. This is Roger Peckingpaw. I picked this up at a trade at a card shop down in Maryland. Traded away a bunch of newer Prism base stuff, and I picked up you guys probably saw in another video, a card I sent to SGC was Brooks Robinson 1958 Topps, came back a good grade. And I picked this up as kind of just a kicker to throw this in. You know, it's like $20 value. So I sent it out to get authenticated. So it came out authentic. 1921 W516-2-2. Roger Peckingpaw. Griffey Gold Stars. Picked this up at an auction. I had this as a 9. It's numbered out of 10,000. 1142 out of 10,000. 1994 Leaf Gold Stars, and it did come back a 9. It's a sharp card there. So I like the way that card looks. So good 9 there. Marty McManus. Expected a 4 on this Gowdy. This is 1934 Gowdy. And it came back a 3.5. So just missed off there by a half. But not too bad. We'll take a miss by a half. At least it wasn't a full point or anything. This one was a disappointment. And I think I figured out why this one came back lower than I expected. But still disappointed nonetheless. I expected a 5 on this card. This is a Carlton Fisk rookie card. 1972 Topps. See the back? You can see why I expected a 5. See the back there? I mean, the corners are touched up a little bit, but overall it looks really good. Get to the front. I mean, no issues on this card, right? Looks like it could be a 5. When I zoomed in on their photos, there was a right there. See a little, like, looks like almost like a coffee stain. So I'm assuming that mark knocked it down from what I felt was a 5 to a 3, and I didn't realize it I'm not even sure if it was on there. I don't know. So now I got to figure out, is it worth me? This is going to go into my Hall of Fame collection for Fisk. I don't know if it's worth me cracking this thing out and cleaning that little mark off or not. Card still looks great, so I'll probably just leave it alone. I don't know. So I missed on that one by 2 full grades, expected a 5. And then lastly here was another Eddie Matthews. I had 2 of these. This is the second one. This one I expected a 1.5. You see the creasing there on the back. That one came back at 2. So overall, pretty good. I'll put the results again up in the video. You guys will see them as you're going through. But pretty pleased with that order. You can see on the boxes there, this was received on June 13th, and they gave it a due date of 8/8, and it was came back right around then. I mean, I received it. I don't know if it was. Well, I went on vacation last week. I think I received this back in like end of July. So turnaround times with CSG are pretty good. Less than 2 months for their bulk. I think I paid $12 a card for this submission. So, you know, pretty decent turnaround times there. Less than 2 months on $12 a card. So that's why I send some of this low value stuff in there just to get authenticated. So thank you guys for watching. Again, if you like the videos, give it a follow, give it a like. Check me out on Whatnot. Doing some shows coming up here. I may move some of this stuff on Whatnot, but you'll see a lot of this on eBay, or I'll get rid of it at card shows as well. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.